everyone! Welcome to the Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Power Gamers Tactics Room. This is your host, Bill Brown Bafflestone, and I'm his lovely assistant, Adelina. Today we are having another episode of our Deep Dive series. Today, talking about Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter.
Yeah, so quick note before we begin. In my opinion, your time is your most valuable, irreplaceable, precious resource. To spend it watching my channel is an honor and a privilege. As such, I truly don't care if you like, subscribe, share this video, or buy me a coffee, because what you are already giving me in your time is so much more valuable than any of those things. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. So yes, I wanted to talk about Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter. These are two of the most popular feats in the game, such that entire builds are created around them, and they are extremely sexy and attractive to a high number of players out there, because most players are offensive minded, and these are offensive feats. Some might say the premier offensive feats available in Dungeons & Dragons, but whenever there is a plus and a minus involved, you're going to need to make some calculations. So I wanted to take a deep dive into these abilities and help you guys understand when you should use them to optimize your characters. So let's take a look. So Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter add a bonus action attack on a critical or a kill for Great Weapon Master, and ignores distance penalty and half cover or 3/4 cover if Sharpshooter. But more importantly, both add the option for a -5 to attack and a +10 to damage, which we will call the power attack. So the optimal strategy is to deploy the power attack when the target AC is below a certain threshold. What is that threshold? Well, your mileage may vary. The equation to determine it, however, is very simple. The threshold AC is 16 plus your attack bonus minus half your damage. So a PC should log their current threshold AC, then adjust on the fly for situational buff modifiers to attack or damage like Bless. Make sure to include all of the damage bumps from magic weapons, fighting styles, smites, hex, all of that, because a higher base damage raises the value of hitting and lowers the value of the power attack bump. So fairly simple to deploy, and you're going to find that the sweet spot is probably in that 16, 17, 18 range. A couple of notes. Great Weapon Master is better with crit fishing builds due to the bonus action attack they get on a critical, and it is also better against low hit point mobs, because the more you kill, the more bonus attacks you get. And it should be noted that sometimes you are facing a creature that has just such a high armor class that you require critical to hit them. In that case, you should always power attack. Now, things get a little bit more complicated when you start talking about attacking at advantage or disadvantage. The full equation is unwieldy. I have put it up there for the math nerds out there, but most people are going to need a rule of thumb. The simplest rule of thumb is power attack when you have advantage, never power attack when you are attacking at disadvantage. Pretty simple, and is going to cover you in the vast majority of cases. But if you want a slightly more granular rule of thumb, we can presume that advantage to attack rolls adds a +4 on average, and disadvantage subtracts a -4 on average as well. Now, on average means that we are assuming that you succeed on a die roll of 15. And if you really want to know how it scales, it's a ±5 if the die roll required is 14 or lower. It is ±4 if you need a 15 or a 16 to succeed. It's ±3 if you need a 17 or 18 to succeed. It's ±2 if you need a 19, and it's ±1 if you need a 20. Elven accuracy does, of course, add slight benefits to the above, but they are pretty marginal and not worth the math. So these equations show that this playstyle must pursue any and all attack bonus bumps. Those are the main factor that they can control that's going to give them benefits with these feats. Now, attacking at advantage is the single most impactful condition to create. Optimize your character to consistently be attacking at advantage. Magic weapons, bless, stat bumps, items that increase attack bumps, pursue those, optimize for those. Recall that adding to your base damage isn't as important when you're using these, because that actually kind of makes the numbers work against you a little bit. Now, this is why archery fighting style is rated superior relative to the other offensive fighting styles. Please refer to my last video where I ranked the fighting styles, and archery was the only one that the only offensive one that was rated superior. This is why. I usually like to keep the numbers crunching behind the scenes, but since I'm going into the math anyway, I may as well point out this is why. It works really, really well with Sharpshooter, much better than Great Weapon Fighting does. Now, to close, I want to throw on a few wet blanket notes. Keep in mind, as power gamers, that the opportunity cost of taking a feat, any feat, even these feats, is generally an ASI. Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter are sexier options because most players are offensive minded and they love adding those damage bumps, and it can be fun in the moment. When you look at averages, you lose the fact that these are highly impactful but rare to occur events, and when they do go off, it is really super fun and really super cool. So that is definitely a factor that you have to consider. I'm just talking strictly from the point of view of are you a robot? What's good over 1,000 battles statistically, etc. And I have to point out that statistically over 1,000 scenarios, the ASI is better. Right? The ASI is just always on, and it impacts a lot of different game mechanics. Dexterity, for example, impacts initiative, your armor class, your saving throws, your acrobatics rolls, your ranged and finesse weapon attacks, your damage, all of that. And those combined really do add up to more than just a little bit of a power or a damage bump. So as a power gamer, you gotta take the ASIs. The only appeal of these feats is for flavor and the admitted fun and greater impact of variability in different situations. That's basically if you're gambling, right? Do you like to roll the dice and have those big swings? I'm a gambler, actually, so I get that and I dig that. I just have a bit more of a systematic approach when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons.
Well, we're done. That was our analysis of Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter. Tell us if you agree or disagree in the comments, and regardless, thank you for watching. This was your host, Bill Brown Bafflestone, and I'm Adelina. See you next time.